Okay, so this stairwell, not in the end quite as scary as I initially was giving it credit for. It's still not exactly a walk in the park. We got very lucky that a lot of these enemies had kind of spread out a wee bit. And there we go. In fact, let's get rid of that exclusion because I wouldn't mind heading back that direction now. Grabbing that condenser vein. That's a very nice find early on in the dungeon. More stealth plus a dagger might be great if we wanted Petrify Stab. That is true, yeah. Scaling off of the stealth attribute for the amount of stab damage for sure. I mean, ideally, we don't have to. I'm hoping that it's just a temporary measure. I mean, if we found something like LRD, then oh boy, would I be over the moon. We'll have to see. Double spell books could be huge. I mean, Poisonous Vapors is very nice. So let's head to the other stair here so we can head out if need be. Advantage scales with stealth for some reason. Right, it kind of makes sense because generally on a stealth character, that's exactly what you're looking for, but logic loses out a little bit for the sake of mechanics there, to say the least. But okie dokie, we've got quite a selection of spells all popping up here. Ozakubu's Refrigeration, finally down from 100%. Which is always a good sign. It means that it's going to start cascading much more quickly as we go on. And Poisonous Vapors already very castable, so I'm going to learn that. Very handy. Nice to have something like a smite targeted deletion spell of sorts. I guess deletion over time maybe, as poison is. Still not too shabby, all things considered. And okie dokie, we're just going to keep running into some sketchy buddies on this floor, hey? I guess it is what it is. For a second, you thought we got zombie hands, but we got Borg's revivification instead. Yes, a shame, too bad. No Vile Clutch yet. But one day, someday in the future, we'll see it happen. I'm going to switch to the Orb of Guile here for a moment. And I'm going to see how effective this is against... I was going to say a two-headed ogre, but apparently we're going to run into a lot of the other friends from that chamber. Ogre friend? Excuse me? Let's petrify you. 1, 2, wait a couple turns, and then we'll pop out ourselves. Oops, didn't mean to petrify you again, friend. My bad. And you can see, again here, how this is fast or quickly becoming the usual routine. Your Earth Elementalists usually tend to be stabbers, at least for the early game. I think that it's a very sensible choice, to say the least. Two-headed ogre? Where are you at, friend? Are you going to be around a corner that I'm just going to immediately slam into? Maybe. A water moccasin? How did we miss you earlier? So I'm not going to make the same mistake as last time at the very least. Let's not leave a two-headed ogre lying around this floor to just wait to ambush us when we're running away from something truly scary from the floor below. And in fact, maybe this is where we will take advantage of this Control F, and let's just re-explore the floor. There you are, you son of a gun. Come get me, you coward. And this time, I'm not even going to bother stabbing. We saw how risky that can be. Not exactly worth it. Now, what can I do here? I know there's a way. Give me a moment here real quick. There's a way to unforget the floor. Control U, of course. Undo. There we go. Let's do that real quick so we don't have to go run around. And Dan, you got your Octo win today, finally. Got Firestorm online before the first rune. Holy moly. That is some firepower to say the least. Congrats on that. Octo wins are very satisfying. Anything that has a complete lack of defensive capability feels pretty good when you manage to make it through in one piece. But yes, 9th, we do have Archmagi on our robe here, which is quite nice. And I mean, the Guile Orb is actually going to be very handy for Lair here. Not a whole lot of enemies that will be testing our willpower. So ideally, we can kind of just cheese our way through everything without too much trouble. Let's stone you, friend, real quick. Yeah, that's not a lot of damage. Oh, geez, and you came out of that at the worst possible moment. If you could just repetrify yourself, thank you, friend. We'll just take this little frog pal upstairs instead. Much more consistent. Don't get one shot by a basilisk and we're good. Exactly. Yeah, definitely the one thing that we do have to be on the lookout for. But ideally, it hopefully won't be too much of a problem. As long as we see them first, we're good. It's all about who gets the luck of the draw. Okie dokie. There we go. Managed to survive our first scary experience here in Lair, so that's always good. It's always tough with just how quick some of these enemies move. But as long as we're being cautious, careful, and consistent, we should be okay. Tempted to slash a little bit here. We know that the cane toad is going to outrun the rest of the yaks, which is a bit dangerous to say the least. So let's start heading back towards the stairs. Ideally, cane toad isn't too much of a problem, and they in fact seem to be just fine for us here. And then we can pretty much just blast them. I want to make sure that I have enough mana points to repetrify when this eventuality comes to pass. But that put aside, we should be okay against this son of a gun. And let's just do it once more. Ooh, we fail. That's less than ideal. In that case, I'm taking you out here and we're gonna ice blast your butt. How about that? Much better. And not too shabby here. Player percentages, lol. Yeah, never quite as they appear. You're gonna fail those 80% 3 times in a row. Guaranteed. No shot. Meanwhile, monsters hitting the 3% banishment. It's an unfortunate truth of the world we live in. Ah, accidentally gave myself ice armor, but we definitely want to petrify this son of a gun. And let's see where we sit. Against a Hydra. Keeping cautious that we want to have, again, enough magic to repetrify you as need be. And not great with just stone arrows, so I think I will resort to blasting a little bit here. Honestly, not doing as well as I thought. I mean, we don't have any evocations training, so a little bit deserved there, but do we have anything else at our disposal that we might want to bring into the mix? Mind Blast? It's not too bad. I mean, it's 3d8 versus 3d7, so whole 3 damage potential on the high end. It's something for sure. But more accurately, it's less useful as the game goes on. So we'll be wanting to use our Ice Blast quite a bit as we move on into the future, I'm sure. Something to keep in mind. Of course, we fail petrifying you. And that means the Hydra is going to heal up a whole lot. Let's see if we fail another 87%. Not this time, so that's nice. I think we're just going to have to leave you alone for now. Let's go completely heal up, get all of our magic back, and go from there. Might have to leave alone for the time being here. Colgate, you've learned a lot of stuff during the tournament. Nice, absolutely fantastic. Early acid wands are really dangerous, especially since early sources of resistance to corrosion are rare. Even if you have that resistance to corrosion, I gotta say, early acid wands are just always scary. You could get a D1 resist corrosion ring, and I'd still be shaking in my boots a little bit coming across Egypt with an acid wand, like Dan mentions. But okie dokie. We struggled a little bit with the Hydra. Do we have any other things at our disposal? I mean, with Blink, we could potentially survive going down and retrying the fight, going in with fresh mana, hoping that we roll a little bit better across the board. I mean, our stone arrows are 3d13, so if they all roll high, we should be able to kill a Hydra. But that's, of course, the rub. That's the tough part. Let's pop in here. Ice magic is now the only one on. I guess fighting as well. Sorry, fighting. Always forget about you, friend. Invocations is up to 6 now. So let's see where that leaves us in our abilities. Oh, never mind. We're not at high enough piety yet. The first ability that we gained from McLeb, again, not going to be super useful. Lesser destruction, not great for us. I'd much rather just use our own magic. Unless we're out of mana power, then maybe it's nice to be able to use some health to get some extra little bit of firepower there right at the end of a fight. Like with that Hydra, for example, it might have saved our skin. Alternatively, or other than that though, we're waiting for the 3 pips of piety to gain the ability to bring in some demons, some bodies mostly, to just sponge up some hits for us. Now, although odd sometimes hits near, or Orb of Destruction sometimes hits nearby walls running to a narrow hallway, does not mean you are safe. Oh, definitely not. The one time it's not going to go careening into the side and smash is when your life depends on it and you're sprinting down a single wide hallway for your life. Classic DCSS experience, to say the least. But okay, let's head back to the regular dungeon just for a little bit here, while I think about my life's decisions. And we'll take out that Hydra in a few moments. Let's turn the vampire to stone. Let's turn Komodo Dragon. Definitely gets turned to stone. Don't have to think too hard about that one. And let's see how we do. It might be worth it, as you can see, to train a little bit of stealth if we wanted to get these stabs. I know I said no to it earlier, but then I can see how we're starting to really struggle along here. Making me rethink, again, everything that we know and love. Oh. Dang it. Secret vampire, of course. I should have known. That's fine, we can just head up and we should be in a good spot to still escape this Komodo Dragon, unless we fail the Petrify, which of course we did. So let's instead take you upstairs. Ooh, I was hoping we wouldn't be cornered like this. That's bad. That's very bad. This is why we always scout the stairs that we're about to head up instead of just walking straight up. So let's think about this for a moment. We could heal. We're hoping that they fail the 50%, which again, we just were talking about percent chances on both sides of the equation and how they don't always feel to rack up to what they may seem. Alternatively, what else have we got at our disposal? We could polymorph you, but that probably would not help our case. Not exactly. In fact, Cane Toad is debatably just worse in all ways here. Condenser Vein does not kill quickly enough to be our solution. Going invisible increases the odds that we're not getting slapped around. 1 heal wounds, kind of a losing battle. It will keep us alive 1 more turn, which is fantastic, but that's probably about as far as it gets us. So, we could go invisible. Last thing I just noticed is a Wand of Digging, so we could actually break through this hallway behind us. We'd be risking it all on 1 shot. 34 max damage. If they roll anywhere in the top 30% of their range with 6 AC, probably just dead. Alternatively, if they miss with that 50% or roll the other 60%, then you're saying there's a chance. Maybe, just maybe. So, we're going to risk it all here. Probably going to die, but of course, we never didn't have it. Fantastic. That's what I've been forgetting, to say the punchline before we go through. If you could random energy away from us and let me go through a doorway, that would be fantastic. This turn? No, unfortunately, not that turn. But even once we gain enough health to survive 1 more hit, we can of course throw out a Petrify and life will be saved. Oh my gosh, we did it. Okay, hold up. Run here. Close this door. He has done it. Fantastic. Also learned an insane hack. If you put tile player tile equals tile cat 6 into the RC file, you can play with Feel It without having ugly character tile. I'm guessing you're not a fan of the majority of the fields there. Are you still in here, friend? Oh, hello. Well, let's let you get into stone arrow range, and fantastic. Now that's a much better fight. I will gladly take that. So what's waiting for us down here? There is a vampire, but they're not right at the bottom of the stairs. I don't actually know where they've gone, so how about that? Of course, we instantaneously get confused when we do eventually run into them. I'm gonna potentially... I was about to say try and wait this one out. We only have one curing potion left, which is not great. And there we go. Petrify this son of a gun. They're gonna go invisible, but we actually have a ring for that, funnily enough. And Stone Arrow finishes the job for us. Oh boy. What a wild ride we're in for. A slightly less than ideal start to it all, but still got time. Ooh, and there we go. Gloves to match the robe. Love to see it. Let's definitely switch to those right away. And we'll come down in style. Being confused is very bad. I should probably... Right, we're back in the regular dungeon. I should take off this this orb that we've been carrying around. That might be prudent. In fact, let's do so now. Oh, never mind. It actually takes a few turns. I thought the orb might be a quick process. My bad. Let's instead just run away like the cowards we are. Just heading back to our stairs, and yeah, let's not even risk it. Let's just heal up and let's find another way down, shall we? Maybe one that's slightly less terrifying. Even if sometimes that fear is of our own design. You still around? You are around. Let's blast you. Perfect. There we go. We do gain the ability to throw McLeb's destructive magic at our foes. Again, not something we're too interested in making use of, at least not to an extreme amount, but nice to know that it's an option that we have. I, of course, have not learned from my mistakes at all. Let's take off the Orb of Guile. There we go. At least until we see what we're fighting up against, because, oh boy, has it not been great for us. As I also rest through the entire Petrify stage on the Centaur. Whoops. But that is a-okay. There we go. Much more manageable to deal with these sons of guns. One at a time here. And perfect. Snorg. You are very scary, my friend. 2 pips of willpower. It's a 41% chance. If I switch to my orb, that's quite a bit. I did not expect the Orb of Fun, as Zafid calls it, to have that much of an effect. Huh. Of course, you resist it. Why wouldn't I fail an 87% chance? Never did have it. And what else? Condenser Vein, I guess would not high likelihood to stick around into the future. Snorg going berserk kinda ruins my day. In fact, you can potentially kill us in one barrage here. That's a lot worse than I expected. I'm glad we drank the haste. We're gonna hope that we don't get hit too hard on that first step. And it becomes a question of whose speed runs out first. Please let it be Snorg. Come on, they're not even attacking anything. How could the berserk possibly continue? Okay, put Snorg between me and the Centaur. At least for a turn. It's something. And what do we wish to do here? We are still fast. So we could just keep running. Hope to lose the enemies to distraction. Unfortunately, the Centaur is a wee bit quick for my taste. I think we are slightly faster when we're hasted. but even a single turn kind of hurts. There we go. Then hope that they've completely lost sense of where we may or may not be. And let's just hide in a corner for now. I'm ready to use my Wand of Digging if necessary. I'm going to be truly desperate, potentially. And I have no idea where our new friends have gone off to. So, Yak Pack instead. Hello, friendly little sheepy pals. Very cute. Probably make a nice sweater out of one of your pelts. And there we go. Let's try and see. We have a third stairwell here. Maybe this one is the stairwell of promise. Snorg is somewhere. Hello, Snorg. And we have proven that we have a bit of an issue taking you out, even using up all of our magic. So let's combo in a couple stabs and a Mind Blast. There we go. +2 troll leather armor is very tempting. AC would go up a bit. The regeneration quality specifically is incredible. So let's see how much the Archmagi is helping us out here. For Stone Arrow, we're already at 100%. Cast rates are okay across the board. Poisonous Vapors probably could use a bit of skill training at some point to actually make it usable. If we swap into our armor here, let's see where that leaves us. Still 100% power Stone Arrow. Oh, I guess Petrify is potentially one we should have been looking at. So from 43 to 60%. So that does help us a lot with actually landing these petrification chances. I mean, we're already struggling to pass an 87% chance. Imagine how much more terrible it would be if it was sitting at the 30-40 range. So we'll have to think about that one a little bit. Definitely petrify you, friend. And okie dokie. We know there's a centaur running around somewhere here. So let's again Control F to quickly forget the floor, and let's find them before we make any foolish mistakes. The Yak Pack, of course, also consideration for the future issues. And that should just about do it. In fact, let's just Control U that. And okie dokie. Now do I think I'd want to kill the Hydra? Am I feeling more comfortable? About the same, but we probably can take care of them, and D11 is where things potentially get a little bit tricky on this side of things. So let's at least head back to the top of Lair, and we can make a decision when we get there. Oh, it's right here. A bit quicker than I expected, not even time to take a drink. Okie dokie. I think what I'm going to do here is put on the Amulet of Guardian Spirit temporarily. This will help us survive the first few attacks from the Hydra. Otherwise, I think it's potential we just get one shot coming down the stairs. 18 damage per head, 7 heads. That's, it's like, what is it, 56 times, or plus 70, 126? Probably did that math wrong. I was not keeping track of the numbers very well in my head. But there we go. You can see just how much damage we take, so definitely happy with the choice to put on the amulet here. Oh, let's not get all tabbed right when we're in the middle of a crucial moment. Ooh, random energy sucks sometimes. How about that? Well, let's hope they lose a square in the random energy. They do. Oh me, oh my. 1 health, eh? Less than ideal. I don't know about you, but I would call that less than ideal. So what do we want to do here? Petrify does kind of eventually slow the Hydra, but we don't have the magic for it, so never mind. Could just haste, and that guarantees that we can outspeed this son of a gun. Potentially even leave them somewhere a little bit safer than at the bottom of our stairs. The issue is, if we spend the time to drink, them getting a random attack, getting the step and attack potentially. Depends on where the energy is all kind of sitting at the moment. but hey. I think it's worth a shot. So let's haste. And let us run like heck. Hello, my Hydra friend. If you could, yeah, I'm up here. Make sure you come this way, please, and thank you. It's a good thing we have so much ground ahead of you, because I did immediately make a mistake with our step pattern. But okie dokie. It's something, alright. It's something. 87% chance to freeze you in your tracks. We're not sitting at full potential at the moment. It's kind of the worst of all worlds here. Not fantastic, to say the least. Let's go for the Petrify still. It's something. And then what do we wish to do? We can't use Curari darts against you, so that's unnecessary. Could just launch some stone arrows with what mana we have left. We could drink an early Brilliance. Not hoping to not have to use this against every Hydra we come against, because that's not exactly a sustainable game plan for moving forward. But could potentially just help us blast through this son of a gun real quick. At the risk of using too many consumables in this fight, let's do it. Not great. We have to take one step closer than I feel comfortable doing. But we should be able to paralyze you again, or petrify as it were. And now, bring out the Ice Blast and just start blasting. Making sure that we have just enough magic to keep the petrification going turn after turn here. We are making a lot of noise, so hopefully nobody's listening out for us. And using far too many charges of this son of a gun. Let's see. Let's Mind Blast you for the final hit. So again, not something we're hoping to do on every single encounter we come across in Lair, but for one slightly easier time with that Hydra that was guarding the stairs, due to our own failures, I should mention, it's not too bad of a plan though. Hello, my yak pals. You could just come up this way, that would be fantastic, and then we can blast you. Potentially even fight one hand to hand. Would you look at that? Not bad for a deep elf. Condenser Vein is definitely something that I should be a little bit quicker to be using here. I agree with that. I've been saving it for like the big pack of wolves that we're inevitably going to come across here, maybe even death yaks, but at the end of the day, probably would have recharged by, maybe not by now, but you know, relatively soon after, so it's probably being a little bit more conservative than otherwise needed. But here we go. An 8-headed Hydra this time, just in case 7 heads weren't enough. So, do we even want to bother fighting this one? Potentially. I just want to be slightly more cautious and aware this time around, I want to say. So always have 2 gaps between us and this Hydra, and always have potentially 8 magic points so that we have 2 shots to try the Petrify. Because ideally, we don't leave this son of a gun parked right at our stairs this time around. Already done that once. Not great. So let's use Condenser Vein, and of course you instantaneously go down to stone arrows this time. And another 8-headed Hydra. Hydra. Hydra, I'm dead. Well, that's not great. Don't have a Condenser Vein this time. But maybe we can just get slightly more fortunate on our stone arrows. No, not with the water moccasin. Never mind. Abort the plan. Abort the plan. Mistakes were made. I do kind of need to kill the water moccasin though. They're slightly too quick for us to handle of our own accord, and then we'll petrify the Hydra and run like heck. Oh boy. What fun. Definitely the most Hydra heads I've ever seen on Lair 1. Like, sure, I've seen an 8-headed Hydra before, but a total of 23? That's a bit much for me, I gotta admit. Okie dokie, but I planned a bit ahead today. Brought a spare drink in with me because I was pretty sure I'd drink this glass. Honestly, in the first hour I thought, so not accurate there, but excuse me for a brief moment as I pour myself another drink here. Make sure that we're fully prepared, fully ready to continue our delving here. Let's find this Hydra, shall we? Not you, Komodo Dragon, even though you are also scary in your own right. In fact, with how much we struggled in that fight, maybe I don't want to find an 8-headed Hydra. Maybe I just want to chill for a bit, eh? Seems less than ideal, to say the least. Let's see where Ozakubi's refrigeration has come in, though. Down to 38%. It's getting there. It is truly getting there, and that will finally give us some mass screen AoE with some drawbacks. We want to make sure that we don't accidentally inhibit ourselves from drinking potions in our time of need. But under ideal circumstances, should be a-okay. Petrified definitely saving us against these dang snakes. Not too shabby. Scroll blinking, finally. And there's the basilisk. Oh no, okay. Touche, fair enough. Are we gonna do this again, friend? No? No, did you lose us? There we go. You fool, you did not shoot first. You gotta shoot first, ask questions later. This we know to be true. In a battle of petrification, you gotta shoot first, my friend. And okie dokie, 8-headed Hydra, kinda hiding around. Hey, why McCleb on this run? To take a suggestion from chat, mostly just for funsies. So yeah, normally on a spellcasting character, I would go with Vehement. I would go with Gozag on literally any character in this game. But definitely happy to fit in whatever people would like to see. And I feel like even if it's not the most traditional or orthodox of spellcaster gods, I think that they do have certain uses to be gained. Specifically, when we gain abilities to summon, it's basically free summoning spells without having to invest in that side of it. Sure, we're investing in invocations, but that helps us out a little bit in multiple camps. But I can hum and haw and try and come up with reasons all day. The main one is just for fun. There you are, right next to us. What fun. Okay, let's try this out here. We should be able to blast you. Not bad. We are going to run out, which leaves us in a tricky situation. That is true. Summoning demons won't combo with Fridge too well. You are not at all incorrect about that. So we'll have to play our cards correctly and make sure that we're using specific skills as appropriate. I was afraid you might do that. I was hoping you wouldn't, but I was afraid you might. And we also fail another 87%. How about that? Well, I'm gonna read a telly here as we come across a 7-headed Hydra to just, you know, put the cherry on top of the scary, scary, terrifying Sunday. Okie dokie. Well, we did lead them a little bit off to the side, so we could potentially try and sneak back to our stairs. Unfortunately, some of the elephant pack does notice our attempts at such refuge. So we will have to fight these sons of guns real quick. I also don't know, is this a dead end? Really showing off my own aptitude for playing the game today. Just absolutely brilliant maneuvers left and right here. There we go. Very lucky teleport taking us back out to near our stairs, and let us try this one more time. Even stone arrows failing on us now. That's a wild... Again, I don't want to harp too much on it. I know that we talk about it pretty much every time. But failing an 87% success rate, and then also failing a 99% success rate shortly after. What you doing to me, game? That is the thing about probability, though. You never really know what you're gonna get. And blasting all of our stone arrows, not quite enough to break it through the Hydra, and in fact we saw that our other stairwell was very close by to this Hydra pal. Far enough away that we could definitely just go back and forth using Petrify Stone Arrow combos, seeing how well we roll, reset, redo. Hope it goes better the next time around. But less than ideal to take the phrase that has very quickly become our mantra for the run. Jeez Louise, let's not fail another Petrify. Game, stop it. Don't do this to me. Let's try again. Now this time it's gotta work, right? Fantastic stuff. See, I wanted to try to not use Condenser Vein this time around, Dan, just in case we come across the full packs of enemies, since that does seem to be prudent based on what we've already seen on this floor. We should also, it's been far too long since I read through my ID scrolls. Who knows what other potential options we've had at our disposal without knowing it. Maybe something to save our lives, not degen potions for sure, but something else. Brand weapon scrolls. Interesting. We do have Manifold Assault, so late game, that might all coalesce into a potential option for the future. As I spend far too much magic trying to kill an elephant, not even noticing the sneaky old cane toad coming in to absolutely ruin our day. But that is a-okay, we're close enough to the stairs to not be too much of a problem. And we will become lethally poisoned. Potentially, or almost definitely, should have swapped our poison resistance ring. Kind of a beginner mistake there. We're making quite a few of those today. As long as we don't die too many times. You're saying there's a chance. Okay, don't throw Ballista at me. Thank you kindly. And let's see where we land after a few stone arrows. I hate how close you are to dead because it makes me want to push my luck. And we've had that go poorly before, but we do in fact manage to take you down, fortunately enough. Again, failing another Petrify. Great work. Gotta love it when you see that. Let's try and just regenerate enough magic to reset and try this again. Failing 2 87% in a row. Absolutely wild. Though, again, the more that I complain about it, the more I mention it whatsoever, the more I should really be coming to expect it out of each and every one of these casts, right? Unless there's some secret issue going on in the back end where, like, the Orb of Guile doesn't work quite as intended, which, I mean, I'm doubtful. I think it's more so just a few bad rolls in a row. Some unfortunate chances here. So we finally take out that elephant. Hey, Railbird, how's it going? Hope your fire elementalists have been doing well as of late. Your humans have been living through and getting in some good old victories. Or at the very least having some fun. Since that's what matters more. And we're back on the road. Jeez Louise. Six-headed Hydra. Hello, friend. Could potentially test the waters here. I'm guessing it doesn't go well, and we do in fact confirm those fears. Oh, and you hit a patch of water, which is quite bad for us. So let's just leave you out in the lurch, head upstairs, reset, redo, and try again from square one, shall we? You managed to splat another 20th level environmentalist with 1 rune today? I'm sorry to hear it. You've had a rough run of luck the last couple of times I've seen you around stream. I'm sorry to hear about it, but that just means the next one has to go that much better, right? At least that's how I'm choosing to imagine it works, just because we had such a an unfortunate death early on in today's stream. So self-defense mechanisms kicking into full gear here as I tell you. That just means the next one is going to be even just incredible. It's going to be so powerful. You'll never have a regret for how things shook out, right? Can we both just tell each other these self-serving, comfortable lies? I'd appreciate it. It's not like random chance doesn't care about your feelings or anything like that. And in fact, if what we've seen today is any indication, it almost seems like random chance actively wants to hurt you and make your life terrible. You mean my elf defense mechanism? What's the difference? But yes, of course I do. And I'm glad I have you around to set the record straight. Make sure that those puns aren't slipping by unnoticed, because can you imagine what a horrifying world we'd live in if we just constantly forgot to make the appropriate puns at any given moment? Not a world I'd want to live in, to say the least. Ooh, and we get essentially the starting conjuration spellbook. Huh. It's interesting. It doesn't have IMB in it, unfortunately. The version that we got, of course. So that kind of ruins it for me, but otherwise very exciting. I mean, Fulminant Prism is a nice amount of elemental or element neutral damage to just put down. Good AoE effect. We'll see how the rest of the run progresses, whether we find that necessary. And actually, I think I will actually just learn Refrigeration now. We have a lot of spell levels. We're a little bit off before I feel comfortable casting, but that is a-okay. Oh my gosh, of course. Got excited seeing a bunch of rats, even hell rats that can sometimes be terrifying in their own right. But what would it possibly be if we didn't also add a Hydra into the mix? That doesn't sound like DCSS to me. You gotta make things as terrifying as possible, otherwise I don't know what game I'm playing anymore. Let's try that again. Perfect. And we'll just keep resetting as many times as necessary. Stop that. Hold up. We do have poisonous vapors that will immediately fail. There we go, though. Let's stack that poison up to a good degree. And I wasn't planning on petrifying you, friend. I was kind of hoping you'd be dead by now. Oh gosh, that's gonna hurt. Never mind. You miss. Perfect. Never a doubt in my mind. And we'll just keep running. We'll let the poison run its course for the boulder beetle here. And sneak by the other enemies that we left behind. Fantastic stuff. Oh me oh my. What a wild party. Okay, you're faster than me, Frog, so I'm afraid you're gonna have to be petrified. I also... Dang it, I missed my turn. I was supposed to take that exit. Well, that's fine. We'll just have to drive around a little bit, lose some of the crowd, and maybe use some digging here. This has been our most dig-heavy run in terms of just using it for utility and just making sure that we get out of a tricky situation a little bit more unscathed than we might otherwise have expected. But now this stair is also a nightmare, so there are no good options, unfortunately. But at least we have a little bit of a gap here. Maybe I can get just one yak? Oh, baby. I know I said it, but I still didn't believe it to be true. I was ready to have all my hopes and dreams dashed in a moment's notice. Boulder beetles are your bane. Nicely done. Yeah, see, I feel like boulder beetles have been a topic of conversation a decent amount on this stream, largely because for the longest time I gave them no credit whatsoever. I never got hit by them. I think they're just low odds of hitting. Helped me out a great deal, and I wasn't even sure if the text was right that they could deal 64 damage. I refused to believe it. Again, that whole that elf defense mechanism that we were talking about earlier kicking in. But I've since learned how well and truly scared I should be each and every time one of them pops into existence. Okay, let's run away from the Hydra, though. Target rich environment. Exactly. Okay, friend. Maybe this time? Fantastic. Much better. That's what we wanted to see here. Ozakuba's refrigeration. Good old fridge. Pretty castable at this point as well. In fact, at the risk of murdering myself indiscriminately, let's try it out. Absolutely beautiful. See, anytime we see large crowds, generally we're not going to want to use it at the start of a fight like that. That is potentially very stupid, depending on what other monsters suddenly come out around the corner. But after seeing a bit more of a big picture as to everyone around us, 6 yaks and a Komodo, now I can a bit more reasonably assess and think we won't need potions for this fight. Something has gone horribly wrong, or horribly wrong, horrifically. Can't say any of the words that I'm trying for today. Instead, just hit somewhere in the middle and make no sense to anybody involved. But regardless, just want to be careful is the main message to take from it all, of course. And let us bring our yak friends out, even killing one by hand, which will always shock me, no matter what the circumstances. With a deep elf, killing something in hand-to-hand combat? No. That shouldn't be possible.